Good morning, my name is Toby Files, Managing Editor of Global Capital, and I'm joined here by Wiebke Schloemer, Director for Europe and Central Asia at the IFC. Wiebke, let me start by asking you around the idea of the European Union debating a taxonomy of economic activities to underpin their green investment policies. But as a long-standing investor in green assets, what is your taxonomy?
Thank you, Toby. And first of all, thanks for having me here this morning. We had good discussions already, and the topic of green came up quite a bit, so that's great. To the question, first of all, let me say that IFC views the EU taxonomy as an important contribution to the policy toolkit that's available generally around classifying green investment in the financial system. So we think that's very positive. I just want to note that as an emerging market investors, all these initiatives should be sensitive to the different challenges for implementation in emerging markets. And for example, as multilateral development banks, and that includes IFC, we use a joint MDB methodology for climate change tracking. And that helps us to inform the identification of our activities, again, that contribute to the mitigation and adaptation of climate change. And in addition, IFC, we have also sort of our own taxonomy that was published in the 2017 report on green finance. So a number of taxonomies there, but great to see that step also coming from the EU. The only thing perhaps, and then I just again want to say that I think there continue to be a number of challenges and a lot relate to inconsistency in data. So it's good we develop classifications, but then it's also focus on data consistency, broad data consistency that's critical.
The new IFC product is new green loans. Would you mind telling us a bit more about what you aim to achieve with these?
No, thank you. Perhaps a quick step back. Green loans, and first we had green bonds, so to say, and we see green loans. And when I step back and think in 2007, I mean, there were essentially no green bonds. And if we see, 11, 12 years later, how that asset class, how that industry has developed, I think we saw 2018, 200 billion green bond issuances, and now with a big push even more into green, I think we see capital markets react accordingly. So that's really fantastic. We're quite proud, and I think that's where the green bond experience helps us. That in green bond development, I want to say IFC played a key leadership role from developing this from a niche product into really much more a mainstream product, and including by developing and publishing the green bond principles. So I think that's been great. And again, building on this, we have now developed the green loan principles. That's a new product that we're seeing that can actually, even in a, let's say, a more granular way, or put it differently, reach a broader target group, since most of the access to funding, especially in emerging markets, is through loans as opposed to capital markets. So I think this is let's say, still work in progress. We've seen a few examples. For example, sustainable coffee in Nicaragua, solar power in Mexico. So LATAM examples, not yet in CEE. So I think I want to leave that challenge with everyone, that I think that's something where there's great opportunity to develop green loans.
Okay. Funding for emerging market countries are disproportionately exposed to exogenous shocks due to their lack of domestic currency capital markets. What is the IFC doing to promote the development of more resilient domestic markets?
Thank you, because local capital market development is a key theme and a key priority for us, in particular in the CEE region also. And if we consider that, I think that local currencies have experienced over, let's say, the past decade, a strong depreciation against the US dollar, it clearly sees or underpins the need for a stronger local capital market developments. And that's really what we see requests from our clients. And interestingly, in the fiscal year 2018, more than a third of IFC's long-term loan commitments globally were in local currency. So it was negligible years ago, but I think now we see already a big push towards demand for this. And when there is a demand, you as an investor, as a financier, you look to respond. So I think this is something, and I think the region here is active. We've done a lot local currency issuances in a lot of countries in Romania across. But again, I think key is to push this further and make sure that the broader, and in particular the broad domestic institutions, also participate in the local capital markets.
Wiebke, thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, Toby.